This is the JWN podcast. My name is Joseph Neested. I'm your host. I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm a little worn out at the moment. I thought it was going to be a quick job. I came to my studio tonight, my photo studio, thinking I was going to hang some equipment. I'm setting up a retractable background thing so that I can add different color backdrops to my studio. Anyway, I thought it was going to take 45 minutes, an hour. I swear I've been here for 3 hours. I had to go to Lowe's. I had to go get new anchors because I couldn't get it into the ceiling properly, and I made a mess and I had to clean everything, and it's all looking good. But I hate when I underestimate how long a project's going to take, because that was a bit much. Man, I'm also feeling pretty good about this weekend. I have a half marathon, a road half marathon. If you have been listening for a while, you know that the last half marathon I attempted to run last month did not go well. It was the first time I ever had a race in my life where I had to quit the race halfway through. I started to overheat, and I could tell, I could feel heat exhaustion coming on, and I just said, nope, not today. It's not my day. And I quit. So I'm feeling a lot better about the weather, because it was in the 40s this morning. I've had a really good week of running. The weather's been fantastic. It's supposed to be fantastic on Saturday. So hopefully I don't get sick or some other, bad thing happens in my life or to someone I love that's going to stop me from being able to do that. Hopefully I will be able to run the race, and I believe I'll be able to run and complete it. I hope so. Today I went and ran the Cooper River Bridge, which it's about a 2.5 mile long bridge. So I ran it there, over it and back over it. So 5 mile run, and the weather was fantastic. I felt great. And then as soon as I was done, I went to the local Fleet Feet, which is right by the base of the bridge, and picked up all my race paraphernalia, my bib number and my t-shirt and all that kind of stuff. And they oddly gave me the finishing medal today. And I was just like, that's not cool. One of the exciting things to me, and I understand why, obviously, because for obvious reasons, we're in the middle of a pandemic. And the fact that I get to run a race at all in person is amazing, and I'm grateful. But there's still something about, you get to the end of the race and you're exhausted, you cross that finish line, and then somebody puts a medal on you or hands you the medal. And you just feel like, I've earned this thing. So now getting it beforehand, it's a little bit of a psychological issue that I'm having. I'm like, I don't want to have this. I haven't earned it yet. I didn't get this medal, so I don't want it. I have a box full of virtual medals, or just the real medals, virtual race medals, from all of the races that I was signed up for that had gotten canceled, and they converted to, we're just going to do a virtual race. And they send you the medal or the t-shirt and all the swag for your race. And it's all in one box, and I won't display them. I don't care. I don't want them. Cause I just psychologically, again, I didn't run that actual race. I didn't sign up for a virtual race. I didn't sign up for that. And that's not what I wanted. I don't want a reward for something I didn't do. So I don't know. Mental thing, it's all in my head. Despite all that, I am so grateful that I'm going to be able to get to run an actual in-person race, and it's a road race. And I under no illusions that I'm going to be able to set a personal best. That's just the way it is. But that's cool. I don't really run to be the fastest runner. I just run to try to see if I can do it, and I enjoy it. I enjoy the whole thing. It's kind of like going to a concert for me in the aspect of there's a social aspect to it. There's being amongst people and having a shared experience. So those of you that are listening to this going like, I don't care about racing or running or any of that stuff. That's where I'm coming from. It's a shared experience. It's another way to bond with people, even if you don't talk to them. You bond with them, and there's times when you're running, and just a simple nod is all you have to say, and you know exactly what the other person is meaning by that nod. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know. It's fun, but I did also. I'm just gonna stay on this topic. I apologize if you don't care, but I'm gonna try to bring it all together. So I signed up for the Myrtle Beach Marathon, which is in March, and it'll be my third time running it. And I was really nervous about the idea, like, okay, the numbers on the coronavirus are really just kind of skyrocketing right now. It's a really scary time, but we have all of this positive news about the vaccines, these two vaccines that are showing so much promise. And they're saying, like, by the end of the year, they'll start getting it out to people. And of course, most of us won't get it right away unless you're a healthcare worker or a frontline type of person. But, you know, you don't have to, everyone doesn't have to be vaccinated for the situation to be kind of under control. Just a certain amount of people need to get vaccinated, and combine that with the people who've already had it. I would hope by March that we will start feeling a little bit more normal. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard because, you know, it's like we could see the light at the end of the tunnel, but at the same time, we're still going to have to social distance and wear masks and have arguments with people who don't want to wear masks. And I still don't feel extremely comfortable going into establishments and being indoors with other people for a long period of time. But yeah, I'm feeling confident that race will happen in March. So on Monday, I will start my training program. It's about a 5-week training program that I'm going to be doing. And so, yeah, I'm looking for. It's something to look forward to. It's going to be, in my mind, something that is going to start bringing me back to feeling kind of normal, you know? And think about it. What's in your life? There were probably things in your life that you have kind of put off, whatever it may be. And it might be out of your control, most likely out of your control. But there are things in my life that I have not done, that I have dropped, that are really, some of it's, there's no excuse for it. So one of the things is yoga. Like, I could be doing yoga. I could, if I really wanted to do yoga safely, there are ways to do it. There's been outdoor things. There are virtual yoga, which, again, I've spoken about this before on the podcast. I'm not a huge fan of the virtual yoga. I don't mind doing it for short periods of time, but I'm talking about like an hour and a half class where you're in an environment, and it's totally different than maybe doing 20 minutes in your living room with your dog kind of getting underneath you and your wife making fun of you. So I do think the virtual yoga thing is not my deal, but I could find ways to do yoga if I wanted to feel safe about it, but I haven't. I've just kind of let it go. Meditation is another one that I have. There's no excuse for me not to do it. In fact, I should be doing it, but I think the anxiety made it extremely, it just scared me off from wanting to do it, to sit down and be quiet with myself. And that's an excuse. There's no reason for it. So I'm hoping that by starting this marathon training program, I can start introducing the things in my life that benefited me the most and kind of bring me back to normal, like just kind of turn the ship around for myself. And I hope you can find some things in your life that you can maybe start to rebuild and maybe try to figure out where you can tweak things and make them better. You know, I'm constantly thinking of my morning routines. Do you have a morning routine? What does it look like? Because my morning routine right now is atrocious. It's unhealthy in my opinion. My morning routine is I wake up, I take my dogs out, I make a pot of coffee, I feed my dogs, and then I take my supplements and vitamins and whatnot, drink my coffee, and sit on my iPad and end up going down like YouTube rabbit holes, or reading Reddit, or whatever it is. Nothing productive. It's kind of stuff that should probably be saved for the latter part of the day. You shouldn't. I don't think I should be looking at this kind of content early in the morning, because it robs you of your livelihood. It sucks the time right out of your morning. Like I'll flip open that iPad, and next thing you know, like an hour and a half has gone by, and I'm like, what happened? Where did my morning go? And then I'm running late. Then I'm like trying to get my. By the way, then I still want to do my morning run, but now it's like getting late, and I've got work to do. So I'm stressed out, and then I'm trying to get showered and get dressed and all that stuff because I've given up all this time to my iPad. So I'd like to go back to what I used to do, which was meditate, run, and then get to work and not look at my phone or iPad or computer for things that aren't work related in the morning. Maybe, and I know this stuff. And every day I say, okay, today's going to be the day. And then I sit down in my chair with my coffee and I'm like, well, I can just watch this one like YouTube video about, running or whatever technology stuff is coming out or whatever it is. Here's a photographer who's got an interesting vlog that I'll watch. And it's always like, oh, I'll just watch this 10-minute thing while I drink my coffee. And then it never, ever, ever ends. It just sucks you in. It's kind of like the addictive aspects of, say, a YouTube or Reddit or I don't even do Facebook in the morning because I just don't want to get angry. I don't want to. That's one thing I'm doing well, but I will look at Instagram. But that usually makes me happy. But it's a time suck. It robs you of your life. Like Instagram should be saved for when you're waiting online at the grocery store, or in a situation where you're just kind of like, okay, I got nothing better to do. But no, I mean, I think, what's funny? I noticed this in it's a couple of different shows that I've been watching and movies and whatnot, where they're incorporating the phone habits that people have. I'm trying to think there was the Woody Allen movie, which I could go talk for 20 minutes about how awful the new Woody Allen movie is. But there's scenes in that movie, and I noticed that in this, where the lead actor, there's just times when he's like doing casual stuff, like walking out a door and checking his phone. And it's so, it would be like checking your watch, or I don't know. It's just so second nature for people now and when you start to see it in films like that, and if you notice it, you're like, wow, like we are so just connected to these devices. It's so part of our being. Like we really can't do anything without a phone. I mean, if you're under the age of 40, can you imagine doing anything without having your phone on you? Like going anywhere, going to the bathroom, you grab your phone. And if you don't, then more power to you. But most people that I know are looking at their phone in the bathroom. Even it makes their bathroom experience, of course, take longer. So something that they do in the bathroom that might take them 2 minutes is now a 15-minute ordeal. But that's the world we live in. And yeah. By the way, yeah, don't watch the new Woody Allen movie. Yes, watch whatever Woody Harrelson's doing. I love him. The new Woody Allen movie is the same movie he's always done, but far worse. It's just he has kids that are speaking like Woody Allen. And they're not acting like kids. They're just acting like Woody Allen. It usually that kind of works and it's charming because you know what you're getting with his movies, but this is just it's weird. It doesn't, I don't know. I still watched it. I watched the whole thing, and there are certain aspects of the movie that I enjoy. I enjoy just the way he makes the location of the movie one of the main characters of the movie. Sometimes the main character. So this movie's all about New York, and it, I enjoyed that part of it, but everything else about it was just trash. Okay. So let's just jump right into the news. Earlier this year, Lady Gaga, if you don't remember, at the beginning of the pandemic in America, and she did this as a global thing, she helped raise $35 million for the World Health Organization. She put on this whole fundraising concert, and it was called One World, Together at Home. And she had like Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, and it was just like a whole live streaming event, and she really just like used her powers for good. And then if you have been listening this week, you might have heard that Dolly Parton had donated $1 million to coronavirus vaccine research. And it was used in part to support the development of Moderna's vaccine, which they're now saying has a 95% protection rate against the deadly virus. Parton's donation was also supported convalescent plasma theory and numerous research papers on the virus. The country music icon made her donation back in April after a discussion with her friend Dr. Naji Abumrad from the Vanderbilt Institute for Infection, Immunology and Inflammation at Vanderbilt University in Dolly Parton's home state of Tennessee. Abumrad, who met the singer in 2014 when she received treatment at the hospital for injuries related to a car accident, told Parton that some exciting advancements were being made in the pursuit of a vaccine, encouraging her donation. Now, here's something really awesome. That doctor is Jad Abumrad's father. Jad Abumrad is the guy who created Radiolab. Now, one of the best podcasts that has come out recently, a miniseries produced by Jad Abumrad, was the Dolly Parton podcast, and you should go check it out. I'll link to it in the show notes for this, but you should really, I couldn't say enough good things about it. If you didn't love Dolly Parton before, you will love Dolly Parton after listening to that podcast series. Just somebody who has the ability to bring people left, right, gay, straight, religious, atheist, old, young, whatever it is. She brings everybody together, and she's pretty damn amazing. Also, I find that so fascinating, like just the connections there. But she also, at one point back in like 2011, teased this.
Somebody asked me last night, you know how rumors fly. Yeah. I love Lady Gaga. I think she's great. But somebody said she was doing a country album. Oh. Somebody was interviewing me, and I said, oh, really? I didn't know. I said, if she does, maybe she'll let me sing something with her, right. Which I thought was great, because there's a famous candy in Tennessee, made in Tennessee, called Goo Goo candy bars. Right. So I'm from Tennessee. I thought, well, if I did do something with her, it could be like Goo Goo Ga Ga. I would love to do something with her, but that's just a rumor at this point.
All right, so unfortunately, it hasn't happened. As far as I know, there has been no Goo Goo and Gaga thing, but they didn't give us music. But what they did collaborate this year on is finding us a cure. Moving along. On Wednesday, November 18th, Apple announced the launch of a new App Store small business program that will see the Cupertino company lowering its App Store fees for small business owners and independent developers. Starting on January 1st, 2021, all developers who earn less than $1 million from the App Store will pay only 15% in commission to Apple, down from the standard 30%. That is amazing. That comes at a time when, like, I think it makes a lot of sense. Apple's been under fire for their commission rate because, you know, there are large gaming companies and other companies that are, you know, they try to fight. They want to negotiate their rate. They want to be like, hey, we're this huge company. We sell this amount of stuff. We shouldn't be paying what, like, the other people are doing. But Apple has turned it around and it's like, you know what? Let's give the little guy a break. Instead of the big guys that are making a lot of money, instead of negotiating down their rate because they make a lot of money for themselves and for Apple, they said, you know what? Let's cut the rate in half for the small guy. When was the last time you heard something like that happen? I mean, that's unbelievable. If I were an application developer or a video game creator, a small independent video game creator, I'd be over the moon. It's like you're just getting a huge pay raise for nothing, just because they felt like doing the right thing. Let's hope that trend carries over to other types of digital services, because honestly, the issues going on with streaming music, which it's kind of similar. It's in the same type of digital delivery of content where you know, the App Store is digitally delivering games and applications. Streaming platforms are digitally delivering music. And it's getting really kind of weird because some of the biggest streaming services, I'm not going to name names, are, you know, they elicit a lot of fear because they make these terms with artists and the like, that they can't badmouth the company or else they can get kicked off the platform. So when people criticize what's going on with them, they're afraid to even speak out about it, because if you're an artist and you're upset and the biggest platform for streaming music says, you know what, you broke your terms of service, get on out of here, now you've just shot yourself in the foot. So what are the chances that any of these streaming services start paying the artists properly? What if they were to say to, you know, the smaller independent artists, hey, you make less than X amount of dollars on our platform, we're going to increase your commission? How great would that be? What if an Apple type of company who does have Apple Music decided to do something like that? Wouldn't you, as an artist, start pushing like exclusives to that platform that's giving you more money? Wouldn't you decide, instead of paying maybe Spotify, who has announced that they want to give you less of a rate so that they can promote your music more, you'd say, you know what, I'm going to release a single 2 weeks early on Apple because they're going to pay me more. And that during that initial bump, I'll get a lot more money from the people at Apple. I don't know. I can see where the competition might heat up if somebody decides to do the right thing, because I think what we're seeing right now from Spotify, it's not, it's a little scary. It's a little scary. I won't go into too much detail there because there's terms of service from me even being on their podcasting platform. So I'll let you figure that one out. Think about it on your own. Moving along. Let's go back to Apple. We just talked about Apple Music. They had their second annual Apple Music Awards. The awards honor achievements in music across 5 categories, with winners chosen through a process that reflects both Apple Music's editorial perspective and what customers around the world are loving most. Apple has named Lil Baby as Artist of the Year, and Megan Thee Stallion is Breakthrough Artist of the Year. Songwriter of the Year goes to Taylor Swift for her album Folklore. What a snub to the person who she ripped off. Why didn't you give it to Phoebe Bridgers for Punisher? Oh, it's because of the thing, the streaming and the numbers. Anyway, that's my opinion. I should be nice. I'm sorry. The Box by Roddy Ricch is top song of the year, while top album of the year goes to Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial by Roddy Ricch. Apple plans to kick off its Apple Music Awards celebration on Monday, December 14th, with a week of special performances, fan events, interviews, and more streaming worldwide on Apple Music TV, and the Apple TV app. So, hold on a second. I'm getting old. I'm getting very old. You know what, though? That's BS. I definitely feel like I'm on top of new music, but in the genres that I follow most, pop music, I've always been completely lost and clueless on. I don't know who Lil Baby is. I don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is. I do know who Taylor Swift is. Have seen her in concert. And actually, I'm happy that she got Songwriter of the Year. I tease. She wrote a very personal album and put it out there. And congratulations to her. But Roddy Ricch, never heard of him. Could be a her. I don't know. Roddy Ricch. Sounds like a guy. Give me 1 second. I'm going to, through the magic of podcasting, I'm going to listen to each one of these artists and get right back to you. All right, just listen to Lil Baby. The production is fantastic. Like, the bass is unreal. I'm not a big fan of this weird tremolo effect on his voice from the 3 songs that I just kind of listened to. But yeah, okay. Cool stuff. I like it. Don't dislike it. But yeah, cool thing. All right, next one. All right, I'm a dumbass. Megan Thee Stallion is one of the people on WAP. And I have heard that song. So there you go. Very much understood why she wins awards. Because, yeah, it's a fantastic song. All right. Let's see who's next. Well, I know what Taylor Swift sounds like. So, and I've listened to that album, actually. So I don't need to listen to that one. Let's check out Roddy Ricch. Wow. 1 billion streams on Spotify for his song, The Box. I don't know, man. I don't get the weird auto-tune tremolo effect on the voice. It's distracting to me. It's so weird, but it must obviously 1 billion people love it. And then almost 1 billion people like Lil Baby as well, because his was like 700 million for the top single on his spot. And that's just on Spotify. That's not including all the other music streaming services. These people are huge in a way that's like beyond approachable for the biggest rock stars you can think of. Like, all right, let me look up the Beatles, right? The Beatles. The top song on the Beatles, right? Here Comes the Sun, 550 million. Come Together, 355 million. Not even close. Now, obviously, if the Beatles were at the height of their fame now, the numbers would be different. You know, they've been around for a long time. But think about that. These guys are just outperforming in today's standards legends. Because they're legends. And I missed the boat on some of this. I would rather hear kind of more of an old school flavor hip hop like a Run the Jewels, where you're not going to hear nothing but effects on their voice. You know, it's going to sound like the people who are rapping, but maybe that's just my personal preference. Obviously, my personal preference is not the popular opinion. All right, folks. I have a musician that I have interviewed for my next podcast, my next interview show, and that'll come out on Monday. So I hope you check that out. His name is Blake Ratliff. He's a Charleston-based musician. He's a South Carolina native. Interestingly enough, the guy has the deepest voice when you talk to him, and his singing voice doesn't sound anything like his speaking voice. When he first called me, because I really didn't know him. I've seen his band before, but I just didn't realize how low his speaking voice is. So there you go. That's something to look forward to. He's an interesting dude, and I hope you like that interview, and I hope you have a great day. Peace!